विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे की बजय जय गोरा चांदे आरती को शोभा आरती को शोभा की बजायो जयो गोरा चांदे आरती को शोभा चांदे आरती को शोभा जानवी तटवाने जगमान लोभा जानवी तटवाने जगमान लोभा जानवी तटवाने जगमान लोभा जानवी तटवाने जगमान लोभा की बदकी ने नीताय चांद बामे गददारा की बदकी नीताय चांद बामे गददारा की बदकी ने नीताय चांद बामे गददारा निकटे अद्वैताश्विनी वास चत्रधारा निकटे अद्वैताश्विनी अद्वैतशीनी वासचत्रधारा गोरा चांद रत्न सिंहासने गोरा चांद रत्न सिंहासन की बाबोशी गोरा चांद रत्न सिंहासने गोरा चांद रत्न सिंहासने आरती करे न ब्रह्मा आदिदेव गणे आरती ब्रह्मा आदिदेव गणे आरती करे ब्रह्मा की बनर हरि आदि कोरी चामर दुल्हाया की बनर हरि आदि कोरी की बनरा हरि आदि कोरी चामर दुल्हाया की बनरा आदि कोरी चामर संजय मुकुंद बासु घोषादि गाया संजय मुकुंद बासु घोषादि गाया संजय मुकुंद बासु घोषादि गाया संजय की बशंका बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला की बशंका बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताल की बशंका घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला की बशंका घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला माधुरा मृदंगा भाजे परामर ताला माधुरा मृदंगा भाजे परामर साला माधुरा मृदंगा भाजे परामर साला गौरांगेरा रतिक शोभा जग जनमान लोभा गौरांगेरा शोभा गौरांगेरा रतिक शोभा जग जनमान लोभा गौरांगेरा माधुर माधुर बाजे शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे माधुर माधुर बाजे गौरांगेरा रतिका शोभा जग जन मान लोभा शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल कि बहु कोटि चंद्र जीनी वदन उज्ज्वला कोटि चंद्र जीनी वदन उज्ज्वला गाल देसे बनमाला कोरे जलमाला गाल देसे बनमाला कोरे जलमाला गाल देसे बनमाला कोरे जलमाला शिव शिव सुख नारद प्रेमे गद गदा शिव शिव सुख नारद प्रेमे गद गदा भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरार संपादा भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरार संपादा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, जय राधा गोविन्द राधा गोविन्द राधे जय श्रीनाजी गोपाल श्रीनाजी गोपाल श्रीनाजी गोपाल जय श्रीनाजी गोपाल श्रीनाजी गोपाल श्रीनाजी गोपाल जय श्रीनाजी जय नित्य गौर हरि जय नित्य गौर हरि जय नित्य गौर हरि जय गौर हरि जय नित्य गौर हरि जय नित्य गौर हरि जय नित्य गौर हरि जय गौर हरि जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा 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 जय गुरुदेवा नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
नमो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरश्री श्रीमद् अभिचरणारविन्देश भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की नमो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरश्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाराज की अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी महारानी की हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्री श्री राधा माधव हरि की श्रीनाथजी गोपाल की गौरनिताई की राधा गोविंद की all Gauris small devotees, all Gauris small devotees, all Gauris small devotees, all Gauris, all Gauris, all Gauris to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all Gauris Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
नमस्ते नरसिंहाया प्रहलादायिने नमस्ते नरसिंहाया प्रहलादायिने हिरण्यकशो वृक्षः तिलकांका नकालये हिरण्यकल्पूरसर इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो इतो यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो ओ यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो बाह्ये नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो बाह्ये नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह नरसिंह आदि शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंह तव कल कमल हरे नका अद्भुत श्रृंग दलित हिरण्यकशुपु तनु भृंग केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कल कमल वरे नका अद्भुत श्रृंग दलित हिरण्यकशुपु तनु भृंग केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे ओ जय जगदीश हरे ओम नरसिंहाय ओम नरसिंहाय ओम नरसिंहाय ओम नरसिंहाय जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा गुरु बोल हरि 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 बोल
नाशक नरसिंहदेव भगवान की प्रहलाद महाराज की श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Shri Shri Radha Madhav Hari Dham. On behalf of our presiding deity, Shri Shri Radha Madhav Hari, we are happy that you are able to join us this evening for our Sunday feast program. So we have a Bhagavad Gita class, followed by some kirtan and dance, and then prasadam. So there's a lot of space here. If you'd like to move forward, then all the latecomers can join without any difficulty. So please move as far forward as you can. As far forward as you can. So this afternoon our speaker is His Grace Harihara Narayan Prabhu. He is a disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, and he has been serving this temple for over a decade now. And his family, they are all very inspirational, very inspiring. Prabhu participates in our morning sadhana program. He gives really nice classes in the morning. So we have a rotating Srimad Bhagavatam class schedule in the mornings from 5:40 to 6 o'clock. And it's via Zoom, it's live. But if you cannot join it at that time, you're welcome to join it on YouTube. It's recorded on the YouTube. You can also watch it via YouTube in the mornings between 5:40 and 6 a.m. And Prabhu has been taking care of our Sunday feast schedule for quite some time. He's a very good kirtanier as well. And he originally used to take part in our festivals as a japa tent coordinator with Mataji. But recently they've taken up some other sevas at festivals. But we are very happy to have him give the class today. He gives beautiful classes. He loves Sanskrit, so he's almost like a Sanskrit scholar. And we are hoping that in the near future, he's going to be able to give Bhakti Shastri classes at Phoenix. So please wait for our announcements in the coming future. And meanwhile, we'll have His Grace Harihara Narayana Prabhu take the Vyasasana. Please give him a warm welcome. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody for our Sunday feast class. So we'll start with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yontaf pravisham vacham prasuptam sanjeevayat akila shakti dharasvadamna anyam stahastacharana shravanastvagadin prana namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. Okay, so today we're going to discuss Bhagavad Gita today. So before we get started, let's do a short kirtan. We'll invoke the blessings of Shri Radha Madhavari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha Madhav Hari, Radha Madhav Hari Radhe. Jayo Srinaji Gopal, Srinaji Gopal, Srinaji Gopal, Jaya Srinaji Gopal. Jayo Nitai Gaura Hari, Jai Nitai Gaura Hari, Jai Nitai Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna, welcome again. So today we're going to talk about Bhagavad Gita. So I was thinking, Bhagavad Gita, how many of us have heard about Bhagavad Gita? And anybody new here for the first time to the temple? Hare Krishna, welcome. So Bhagavad Gita is one of the ancient scriptures, and it's spoken by the Lord himself. Bhagavad is the Lord and Gita is a song sung by the Lord. So it's actually a song sung by Lord Krishna himself, the Supreme Lord himself. So before we get started, I just want to set the scene, right? So we are all here and we can all hear. Krishna has ably given us ears to hear this message. So I want to impress upon the glory of Bhagavad Gita here. So Adi Shankaracharya says, Bhagavad Gita Kinchita Dita, Bhagavad Gita Kinchita Dita, Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita, Sakridabhiyena Murari Samarcha, Sakridabhiyena Murari Samarcha, Kriyate tasya yamena nacha cha, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Says Bhagavad Gita Kinchita Dita. Even if one hears a little bit of Bhagavad Gita, Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita, one should at least take a little bit of drop of at least Ganga water, right? Sakridabhiyena Murari Samarcha. Then one should at least do worship of Murari, who is Lord Sri Krishna. So what is the benefit of doing that? Kriyate tasya yame nana charcha. So if after death, we don't have to go meet Yamaraj. Yamaraj is the god of death, right? So you don't have to go meet him. So that's the glory of Bhagavad Gita. So with that, I just want to set everybody's mood so that we can take at least a little bit of Bhagavad Gita inside us in this 40 minutes. So we're in the fifth canto, fifth chapter. We're going to discuss texts 11 through 14. Yeah. So I'll read the verse, you can chant along with me, and then we can start discussion. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalairindrayairapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalairindrayairapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. So it's an interesting passage, right? Bhagavad Gita, right now we are in the 5th chapter. So I'll try to cover as much context as possible. So in 5th chapter is actually beginning with Krishna being asked by Arjuna, so should I renounce work or should I do work in Krishna consciousness? So this is a very interesting question. Should I take sannyasa and then just go away, or should I continue to doing work but in consciousness of Krishna, right? So that's the question he is asked, and Krishna is continuing to say, so in that context he's saying kayena manasa buddhya kevaler indriyerapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. Says kayena is by the body, manasa is by the mind, buddhya is intelligence. Indriyerapi is Indriya is the senses. We have 10 senses, 5 karmendriya and 5 nanendriya. And yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. The yogi, he does work, but he does the work so that the work doesn't bind him. So what does it mean? So here there are multiple things which we'll have to unpack. First is yogina. So who do we think is a yogi? Does anybody want to volunteer and see who is a yogi? Yes, bro. Correct. That's the right definition of a yogi. So, but we do see multiple yoga studios and everything here, right? So, what are they also yogis, or what are they actually doing? Do we know? So, there are different. So, the word yoga in Sanskrit comes from the root word called yuj. Yuj means to connect. So, to connect with what, right? That's the big question. So, to connect with the supreme or the ultimate is the definition of yoga. So there are different paths of yoga. So in the Bhagavad Gita we've seen there is karma yoga, jnana yoga, and then bhakti yoga, right? And Krishna says in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. So of all the yogis, the one whose mind is always engrossed upon me, upon Krishna, such a person is the topmost yogi. So Krishna classifies who the topmost yogi is. And here, so that's the definition of yogi. So if anybody asks what is the definition of yogi, it's not like having matted hair or like having different bodily features or any kinds of siddhi. That's not what makes one a yogi. A yogi is a person who is connected to the Supreme Lord, right? So that's the definition of a yogi. And then let's step back and ask, do we know what karma means? Does anybody wants to take a stab? It's become a commonplace in the English dictionary as well, right? Karma. Does anybody want to say like what karma means?
It can mean, I think, action and reaction.
Right. So karma is defined as action and reaction, as Prabhu said, right? So, but Bhagavad Gita represents action in 3 ways, right? So there are 3 types of karma. One is karma itself, and then there is akarma, and then vikarma. So karma is action which we do which is prescribed by the Shastras. So any action which is going to take us a step forward in our spiritual journey is called a karma. So there are fruitive reactions which are going to come as a part of it, but it is prescribed by the Shastras. But there is something called vikarma. Vikarma is negative action. So what is vikarma? Anything which is not said by the Shastras, if one does, that is called vikarma. So I'll give you an example. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yadi Shastra Vidim Uttrijya Vartade Kamakaradaha Nasa Siddhim Avapnoti Na Sukam Na Param Gatim. He says, Yadi Shastra Vidim Uttrijya, if anybody does something out of context from Shastras, but out of Kamakaratah. Kamakaratah means out of desire. So we get impelled by a lot of desires, and because of desire, if we do something, that is called vikarma, because it is going to have negative actions. So we see examples of this in our day-to-day life, right? So we had war on Iran, Operation Epic Fury, and that triggered gas flies inflation, right? So any action you do, there is going to be action, right? There is going to be reaction, and it can be positive if we do prescribed actions, which is called karma, and it can be negative if we do actions which are not prescribed, which is called vikarma. And then there is a third thing, right? The third thing is called akarma. Akarma is you don't incur any reactions, neither positive nor negative. So this is called akarma. So that's what here Krishna is saying. She says, Yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. So yogis, they perform activity, but they don't get engrossed. Right, so that's the akarma which Krishna is talking to about here. So when I was reading this verse, I just got reminded about. So the beauty with the Bhagavad Gita and anything which comes from Krishna is it is all connected. You will see the Vedas, all of them, they talk the same thing, right? So if you connect this with Ishopanishad talks about exactly the same thing. So Ishopanishad says, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bunjita magrida kashyasvidhanam. So he says, everything in the world you see is Krishna's. Ishavasyam. Isha is Krishna. And anything you see in this world is Krishna's. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Yena sarvam. Tena tyaktena bunjita magrida kashyasvidhanam. So you have been given a quota. So take what is given to you and don't go try taking for somebody else's property, right? So that's the first mantra of Ishopanishad. And the second mantra continues. It says, Kuruvan eve hakarmaani jiji visheshata gumsamaha evam tvayinanyateto ostina karma lipyate nare. So if one has this understanding that everything belongs to Krishna, and if one does activity and one does karma, then one can go on for hundreds of years doing this karma. Chatagum samaha. Evam tayi nanyato nacha karma lipyate nara. So they don't get attached by this bondage of doing karma. Right? So if the crux is to understand that everything belongs to Krishna and we are just here to take part in that, right? So we can take what is allocated to us, but we should not exploit or abduct which is given to somebody else. So that's the crux of Ishopanishad. So that's what Krishna is here saying. What is he saying? Yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. So if we do this, what happens? Our existence gets purified. So what happens when our existence gets purified? Then we will be able to perform bhakti. Right? That's the context in which this is happening, right? So Krishna in multiple places says the same thing. Just as like I said, we can connect this to multiple things, right? So in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says a similar verse. He says, Tasmatva muttishta yasho labasva. Arjuna is actually completely befuddled, right? He didn't want to fight this war. So then Krishna is giving him this Bhagavad Gita, and in the 11th chapter, he's actually showed Arjuna this Virata Rupa form or the Vishwarupa form, and he's saying, Tasmatva muttishta yasho labasva. I've already, okay Arjuna, now it's time for you to get up and go gain your glory. Tasmatva muttishta yasho labasva. He says, all these people, mayeva ete nihita purvameva, I have actually killed them even before. Now all you have to do is nimitta matram bhavashavya sachin. Just become an instrument in my hand and just do as I say. Just go fight this war, right? So that's the exact same thing, which is akarma, which is action in Krishna consciousness, which doesn't incur any karma, right? So karma is a very detailed subject. So I was just wondering about this. So in physics, we try to quantify and define everything, right? So are there any engineers in the room? Like, I think there are many engineers probably. Yeah. Any physicists? Any engineers? So what does action mean? How do you define action? Right. Force is something which causes action, but what is action? Yeah, so if you think about this, we'll draw a lot of parallels, and I'll try to draw a parallel here. So action is actually defined as a scalar quantity. A scalar quantity is something which is like you can have an unit for it, right? A scalar quantity which measures how the potential energy and kinetic energy translates. So if a body is in motion, there is no action. And if a body is moving, then there is action, right? So what happens when you move? Potential energy is your state of rest, and kinetic energy is in a state of motion. So action is something which is what translates between the potential and the kinetic energy, right? So we will see how this translates to our spiritual karma and stuff, right? Remind me towards the end of the class, we can talk about that. But this is what action means, right? So you have something which is in your store, and then you have put something in motion. So that's what karma, that's what action means, right? So in this case, akarma, just think about how glorious this is. Like, even if you work, you don't incur anything, you don't create anything, you don't incur anything in your spiritual credit, right? That's what akarma is. That is what Krishna is talking about here. Yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. So it is if you can actually do work in this world without having a reaction. Can somebody say if you can do any action right now which will not have a reaction? No, right? So even if I touch this table, the table is going to impact an equal and opposite reaction on me. But Krishna is saying, if you work for me, if you work in consciousness of Krishna, then there's no action, right? So which is something very fascinating. I just wanted to let everybody think about it, right? So my goal here is to present as much as possible and have people a lot of questions so that you have more questions than answers at the end of the class, right? So that's the goal. So that's the 11th verse. So 11th verse very clearly says you can perform action, but if you perform action in Krishna consciousness, there is no karma involved, right? Now we'll go to the 12th verse. It says, Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim ayuktah kama karena phale shakto nibadhyate. 13th verse. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasaste sukham vashi navadhvare puri dehi naiva kurmanna karayan. So these two verses are connected. That's why I read them together. So Krishna talks about yukta karma phalam. Yukta, as we say, comes from the same root, yuj, which means to connect, right? Yukta karma. So if you work in connection with Krishna, phalam tyaktva. So you don't go after the fruits of your activities, right? Then shantim apnoti naishtikim. What does shantim apnoti naishtikim? You reach unadulterated peace. Shantim apnoti naishtikim, continuous peace. And ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. And if somebody is attached to the fruits of the action, then he gets entangled, right? So that's what this verse means. And then the next verse, sarva karmani manasa sanyasate sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kuruvan na karayan. So we'll discuss the 12th verse and then come to the 13th verse, right? The 12th verse. So keywords here. First verse is yukta. What does yukta means? We saw it's connection. And connection to what? Connection to Krishna, right? Ayukta is away from Krishna, not connected to Krishna. And then Krishna says, shantim apnoti naishtikim. So what is everybody after in this world, right? We are after money probably, and then we are after prestige, power, right? But ultimately what everybody needs is shanti, right? We all want peace. So I was just thinking about this. So we have something called the Nobel Peace Prize, right? Do you remember who got the Nobel Peace Prize recently? Somebody from Venezuela, Maria, right? So she got the Nobel Peace Prize. So and then just thinking about the Nobel Peace Prize itself, it's instituted by a foundation called Nobel Foundation, right? Alfred Nobel. Does anybody know who Alfred Nobel was? Yeah, who was? He was a guy who invented dynamite. That's right. So he invented the dynamite, right? So what is the dynamite? Dynamite is trinitrotoluene. It's like the one which blasts, right? So it was actually, the way he conceived is, like he will use this to actually go and blast these rocks so that they can make money and stuff. So he thought it's going to revolutionize the entire world. But then what happened is people started using it for nefarious activities, right? They started blowing up buildings and stuff like that with this. So he grew so bad in his heart. So he thought, okay, I'll institute something which will be good for the world. So he started this Nobel Foundation. So this is another example of karma, right? He started something where he thought it will benefit the world. But eventually it was used for nefarious actions, right? Even scientists or anybody, right? They can't control their actions and the reactions of the actions, right? So that's an example. So everybody is after peace, right? So how do we attain peace? So everybody has taken a stab at it. We have had League of Nations after the First World War. We had United Nations after the Second World War. And now we have all kinds of non-peace activities going on in the Middle East or the West Asia, and nobody is able to stop them, right? So what is the solution for this? The solution here Krishna says is yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikam. So how is it possible? So as I mentioned, Isha vasyam idam sarvam, that's the only solution for all of these problems. If we understand that everything and anything you see in this world is in connection to Krishna, then you don't see any difference between people. So Ishopanishad goes on continuing saying, he says that yastu sarvani bhutani atmai vabhut vijanatah tatra kamoha shoko shoka ekatvam anupashyatah. So if one sees everything in Krishna, one says everything all as ekatvam, everything is the same, everybody is qualitatively same as Krishna. So in that case, there is no question of having, why is this person different, why am I different, right? So that's the solution. So if you see Prabhupada's books, he writes this very clearly. There is United Nations is not the solution. The solution is Krishna consciousness. And here Krishna is continuing saying, Shantim apnoti naishtikim. So if we want lasting peace, what should we do? We should try to make the world Krishna conscious, right? So that's the sum and substance from this verse we can take. And one might wonder, Krishna says yukta, right? So what does yukta mean? So we have different types of God realizations, right? So there is a school of thought called Mayavada philosophy. So the core philosophy there is you worship Krishna, but ultimately you become Krishna. You become one with Krishna, right? Is that what Krishna is saying here with yukta, where you try to connect with me? No. So what Krishna is saying here is yukta is connection in oneness and desire. So where our desire and Krishna's desire are aligned. So that's the yukta we are talking about, because we are simultaneously, qualitatively same as Krishna, but quantitatively different from Krishna. So anything you can talk about. For example, there are three qualities we can talk about any Krishna, right? Which is he is eternal, he is completely knowledgeable, he is eternal. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat is eternal, Chit is completely cognizant of everything, and Ananda is supremely blissful, right? So these three characteristics, these all apply to us as well, as soul, right? But the thing is, we have forgotten and we have misplaced our identity in something else, and we will discuss what that is, right? So that's the yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikam ayukta kama karena phale sakto nibadyate. But if one is completely attached to the fruits of activities, then one gets bound in this world. So what does bound means, right? What does bound mean? Does anybody want to say what does bound to this world mean? Right. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. So this is something very serious, right? So any activity we do here, right? It's not just something very simple like a child's play. So even when a child plays, he doesn't know what activities it is doing. It is going to bind him for the next janma. So it's very important to know that anything we do in this world has this repercussion which keeps us. So in the 9th chapter, Krishna calls Gata Gatam. So has anybody seen the Ferris wheel? So what happens in a Ferris wheel? You go down, you go up, you go down, you go up. That's exactly what we all have been doing, right? We have taken to this human form where we are able to understand, oh, is this what is going on? That is what Vedanta Sutra says, Atato Brahma Jignasa. Question your existence, right? When you question your existence, you understand that we are continuously put in this cycle of birth and death, and that is called Nibadyate, which is bondage, which is Krishna talking about, right? So then we'll talk about the 13th verse, and he says, Sarva karmani manasa sanyasate sukam vashi navadvara pure dehi naiva kurvan nakarayan. So he says, Sarva karmani manasa sanyasaste sukam vashi. So Krishna is talking about a very interesting thing here. He says, Manasa sanyasaste sukam vashi. So if one rejects the phala or the tendency to take fruitive actions mentally, he says, Manasa Sukam Vashi, then one becomes happy. Then how is this possible, right? So which means it requires an effort from our end. That's what Krishna continues to say in the Bhagavad Gita, Manmana abhava madbhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru mame veshyasi utvevam atmanam matparayana. So you have to take an endeavor by trying to fix your mind on Krishna, then things starts to happen, right? So then this yukta and sannyasa sukham. Sannyasaste, manasa sannyasate, right? So thinking about this, we can draw a parallel from Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So there's something called Yukta Vairagya. So what is Yukta Vairagya? Vairagya is, what is Vairagya? Vairagya is determination, right? Your determination to not do something. That is called Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya is Vairagya which is attached to Krishna. You do activities in devotional service but with determination. So that is defined by Rupa Goswami as anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjita. And then nirbande Krishna sambande yuktam vairagyam uchyate. So anasaktasya vishayan, not attached to material actions. Anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjita. Whatever you have in your possession, use it in Krishna's service. And nirbande Krishna sambande yuktam vairagyam uchyate. Put everything in connection to Krishna, that becomes yukta vairagya. So the question comes, how do one get this yukta vairagya, right? So it's all so good and rosy and to understand about yukta vairagya and stuff, but how do you get yukta vairagya? That is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a commentary to Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Says, Vasudever Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Tad Yat Ahitukam. Says, Vasudeve Bhagavati, if one takes to worshipping the Supreme Lord, Vasudeva, then Janayati, then one's heart is purified, and then comes Janayati Asu. Ashu is quickly. Vairagyam. Vairagyam is this determination. And Jnanam Tad Yat Ahitukam. And then comes Jnana. So, byproduct of bhakti is two things. One is jnana and vairagya. So if you are after anything in this world, bhakti is the solution. So that says in the Bhagavatam as well. It says, akama sarva kamova moksha kama udaradihi tivrena bhakti yogene yajeta purushah param. So if you want anything in this world, either you're such a karmi that you want to get everything in this world, or you don't want anything in this world, or you're after intelligence, or you want to seek more and more knowledge, then moksha kama, or you want to get rid of this material world, whatever you want to do, all you have to do is just worship. Yajeta purushah param. Worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Yukta Vairagya is the key. How to get Yukta Vairagya is to perform bhakti to Vasudeva, right? So that's the 13th verse. And the second portion of the 13th verse says, Navadvara pure dehi naiva kurvan na karayan. So here Krishna is talking about a person who is sitting inside this city of 9 gates, right? City of Navadvara Pure. This body is said to have 9 holes, right? So there are only 9 inputs. So you can think of a computer system as IOs, right? So our body has IO, which is eyes, 2 nostrils, one mouth, and then 2 ears, and then genital and anus. So these are 9 points of contact with the outside world. So Krishna calls this is Navadvara Pure Dehi Naiva Kurvan Nakarayan. The person who is sitting inside, he doesn't do activities, nor does he cause any action to be done. Right? So we'll come back to this point. And then I want to talk about a very interesting story from Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we'll come back to this, right? So about this city of 9 gates. So there's a story in Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto. This is the story of Puranjana, right? So Puranjana was a very able king, right? He was very strong, very valiant, but he had a friend called Avijñata. So this friend was like always doing good for him, making sure that he does the right things, but he didn't like that friend. So he parted ways from that friend, and then he went searching for a good place for him to stay. And then he came across a specific place called Navapuri. And this place is called Navapuri. And then Puranjana came there, and he liked that place so much. It had a lot of walls, beautiful walls, very high-rise buildings, and then canals, waterways, and then bushes and trees and everything. So it's so captivating for him. So he thought, I'll make this my capital and I'll rule over this place. And then he started ruling. And at that time, there is a beautiful lady who comes. Her name is Puranjani. And then she comes, and then this Puranjana is so captivated by her. She comes with a retinue of servants. So she has a 5-hooded snake who is accompanying her, and then there are 10 servants who are accompanying this Puranjani, and then there are hundreds and thousands of wives of these servants who are all coming along with this Puranjani. And Puranjani and Puranjana, they got so enticed, and they married each other, and they lived very happily. They lived a very happy life, and Puranjana got so ensconced in this material condition that he forgot what he is about to do in this world, right? And then something happened, bad happened. So there was a king called Chandavega. So Chandavega came and he started attacking this Navapuri. And he came with 720 soldiers. How many? 720. And then he started attacking Navapuri and then taking all the blocks, bricks and everything down. So Puranjana is trying to ward him off, but he's not able to do it. At that time, this Chandavega has a daughter called Kalakanya or Jara. And she comes to Puranjana and she says, I want to marry you. And Puranjana says, no, I don't want you. And then this Jara goes and marries somebody called Baya. And then Baya sets her to Prajwara. This is another person who Jara marries. And then Prajwara, Baya and Chandavega all come and attack this Navapuri. And they're trying to dismantle Navapuri. And at the end, Navapuri is dismantled. And this five-hooded snake, which is trying to protect the city, that is also destroyed. And then Puranjana is dragged from his fort outside, right? So this seems to be a very simple child story, right? But this is actually a story of the soul itself. And this is an allegorical story. So let's just rewind this and then see how it maps to what a soul's journey is, right? So Puranjana is the soul himself. Puranjana is the soul. And the soul comes into this material world trying to get a material body. The material body is the Navapuri, the city. And the city has beautiful walls, that's the skin. And then there is beautiful towering structures and everything, that's the nose, eyes and all those things. And then he comes across this Puranjani, right? Puranjani is the intelligence. So intelligence cannot live without the soul or the consciousness. So intelligence marries the soul. So Puranjana and Puranjani, they marry each other. And then this five-hooded snake, that's the prana or the five life airs, prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, which is keeping this body afloat, right? That's the five-hooded snake. And then there is this 10 servants. Those are the Pancha-Jnanendriyas and then Karma-Indriyas, right? So those are our sense perception. However we try to perceive this world, those are the 10 servants. And then the hundreds of wives are our hundreds of desires. And then comes Chandavega. Who is Chandavega? Chandavega is time. Time, right? What happens with time? Our body gets decayed and then we lose our youth and we are pushed into old age. And the old age is Jara. The daughter of Chandavega is Jara. So it's very interesting. In the Bhagavatam, in the 4th canto, there is a verse. It says, Saesha lokanadi Chandavego vikarshyasistvam kalukalayana bhutani bhuteranumeya tattvo ganavalirvayuriva visishyaha. Says, Saesha lokan adi Chandavego. This time force is so great, so powerful. The word Chandavega means very powerful. Adi Chandavego vikarshyasistvam kalukalayana. It actually destroys everything in time. And bhutani yantir anumeya tattvo, just like how you see one animal being eaten by another animal, just like that, time scatters everything away. Just like how you see the wind scatters the clouds in the sky, just like that, time scatters everything, right? So that's the power of time, and time is non-different from Krishna. Time is Krishna's energy, right? So that's Chandavega attacking and Jara trying to Jara, which is old age. Puranjana is captured by old age. And then all these different soldiers, the 720 soldiers I talked about, those are days and nights. You have one day and then 360 days in a year, 365, but 360 for rounding up. There are 720 days, 720 soldiers fighting. So as every day rolls, we actually lose some portion of our life, right? So Bhagavatam says, Ayur harati vai pumsam udayan astamancha yennasau yasman chano nirnita uttama shloka vartaye. So just with passing of every day, just with one sunrise and one sunset, we are actually losing a portion of our life. Ayuru harati vai pumsam. But it doesn't affect a person. Who does it not affect? Uttama shloka vartaye. If one glorifies the Supreme Lord and is connected to the Supreme Lord, for him this aspect of time chipping away on the life force doesn't happen. So that's the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So Chandavega attacked and then he killed. He's about to take off this Puranjana from his body, right? So this brings us to a very interesting point, right? Sanskrit is a very wonderful language. So any word you see in Sanskrit has a deep meaning inside. You can go to the root word and you can find out what it actually means. So what is a human body called in Sanskrit, right? It's called Shariram. What does Shariram mean? Does everybody know what Shariram means? We use this in a day-to-day, right? Shariram, Kaya. But what does Sharira mean? Sharira comes from the root word Shirya. Shiryate iti Sharira. What does Shirya mean? That which decays. So the word which we use every day is actually meaning that this body is something which decays every day, right? So Kulashekara Alvar says, just to take to this point and drive this home as much as possible, right? Idam shariram parinama peshalam patantyavasyam shadasandhi jarjaram kimaushadam prichasi mooda durmate niramayam krishna rasayanam piba. He says, idam shariram parinama peshalam. This body goes through different transformations and patat avasyam shadasandhi jarjaram. So it definitely falls down at some point, and all these different joints which we have in our body, they're all going to make crackling noises. But kim aushadam prichasi mooda dirmate. Oh, you foolish mind, what kind of medicine are you trying to get? No medicine is going to save you. Niramayam krishna rasayanam piba. Go and take to the beautiful medicine of chanting the Lord's, Supreme Lord's name, right? That's what Kulashekara Alvar is saying. And then he continues to say, he says, Krishna tvadiya pada pada pankaja panjarantam. So he says, my mind is not able to get attached to Krishna right now. But what I should be doing is, I should go and attach myself to Krishna's lotus feet. Because what happens? Prana prayana samaye kafavata pittair kanto avarodhana vidau. Kanto avarodhana vidau means this starts choking because of Vata, Kapha and Pitta at the time of death. Prana prayana samaye kapha vata pittair. Your throat gets choking because you are not able to talk, you are not able to call Supreme Lord's name. So just your mind, please go and attach yourself to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. That's the prayer Kulashekara Alvar makes, right? So that's what happens to Puranjana as well. So in the next birth, he is born in Malayadwaja and he connects with Avijñata, which is Paramatma, and then he is able to understand his real position and he goes back home, back to Godhead. So this is an allegorical story which Narada Muni recites to Prachina Barhi, who is a king who comes in the very good disciplic succession, but he is lost. He is so engrossed in material activities that he is reminded as to what the goal of human life is, right? So this is a message we can take home, understand like what we are, how we are in this material world, how we can get away from this particular material bondage, right? So that's what I want everybody to take away from this particular story. So then we'll move on to the 14th verse. Here, Krishna says, Na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhu na karma phala samyogam swabhavastu pravartate. So he says, Na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhu na karma phala samyogam swabhavastu pravartate. So anything, any activity you do in this world, swabhavastu pravartate, it's coming because of your swabhava, or three modes of material nature. So Krishna is saying here, he'll say the same message in multiple other places. We just have to connect and see all of them together. Krishna says, Prakriteh kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudatma karta aham iti manyate. So anything which happens in this material world is happening because of the three modes of material nature, which is sattva, rajas, tamas. So they make things happen, but we think that we are doing, right? That is the ahankara vimudatma karta aham iti manyate. So that's the same point Krishna is making here. So in the previous verse, 13th verse, Krishna said, the soul which is present in the body does not have any work to do, nor does it cause any work to do, right? And then now Krishna is going to say, na kartritvam karmani lokasya srijati prabhu. But who is the actual doer here then? We are performing actions, right? Who is the actual doer here? Do we know? Does anybody know? We know about Bhagavad Gita. Does anybody know who is the actual doer? Three gunas are the actual doer, but Krishna actually stacks like three layers of doers. The first doer is Jivatma. Second doer is the three modes. The third doer is the Paramatma. So there are three doers for any action. I'll talk about that. But this is the three doers, right? The three doers, here we spoke that the Jivatma has nothing to do in this material world. But how is Jivatma a doer, right? So to illustrate this analogy, we can take an example. Assume we have a 3-year-old child and he's seeing his father actually lifting weights, dumbbells, about 30 pounds of dumbbells, but he's not able to lift it, right? So he actually wants to see, how do I lift this dumbbell, right? So he has this desire, I want to lift this dumbbell and see myself in this mirror. So he asked, so the dad sees it, and then dad lifts the dumbbell, puts it in his hand, and then lifts his hand, and he sees, oh, I have done this. I have actually lifted the dumbbell. So in this case, the Jivatma is the small child who has this desire to lift the dumbbell. And then the Paramatma is the father who is actually helping lift the dumbbell. And then the muscles of the father is actually the 3 modes, which are the energy of the Supreme Lord, which are actually making this happen. Right? So those are the 3 doers, and the desire which the Jivatma has is the primary reason why any karma happens. So the Jivatma is not completely aloof, right? So even though Krishna says here, Naiva Kurvan na Karayan, just because of his desire, all these different activities happen, and Paramatma present in everybody's heart, he says 2 things. He says Anumanta and Pratyaksha. He says sees and then he grants. Those are the 2 things that Paramatma does. And he does this based off of our karmic credit. So if we have karmic credit, then Paramatma sanctions it. So we can desire all we want, but it has to happen by Paramatma's desire. To Prabhu's point, there are 5 factors for any action we do in this world. So those are Adhishtanam Tada Karta, Karanam Cha Pratakvidam, Vividashta Kritas Cheshta, Daivam Chaiva Atra Panchamam. So there are 5 things. One is Adhishtanam. Adhishtanam is the place where the action is done. Tata Karta, the person who is doing the action. And Karanam Cha Pratak Vidam. So the different types of instruments which are used to create the action, right? And Vividasta Kritash Cheshta, all the different endeavors which the soul makes, or which desires to make, those different endeavors. And then the 5th is Daivam Chaiva Atra Panchamam, which is the Paramatma. The Paramatma has to sanction. So if you go to YouTube and you type any motivational video, people now are talking about manifestation, right? So where you can manifest anything and everything you want in this world. All you need to do is just visualize and think that I've already had it, right? This verse actually rejects that squarely. Anything you do, it is just 20%. Rest has to be from the other 4 factors, right? So that's why it's very important to understand that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. The last verse of this particular chapter, Krishna says, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Jnatva Mam Shantim Richati. So again gives a peace formula, which is Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. Any activity you do, which is sacrifice, or any tapas, austerities you do, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. And Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Krishna is the supreme controller. Suhridam, Krishna is the supreme well-wishing friend of everybody. Knowing this, everybody can attain peace in this world. So with this, I would like to conclude. I would want to recap saying that there are 3 types of karma we discussed: akarma, karma, and vikarma. And then we spoke about how to perform akarma, and we spoke about yukta vairagya, how we can get yukta vairagya. We spoke about the navadeha, and how the soul inside the body does not have anything to do, but the desire of the soul is what causes karma to start. And then Paramatma and the 3 modes of material nature are the ones which make things happen in this world, right? And then we saw the peace formula is to understand that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer of everything, and Krishna is the supreme controller, and Krishna is the supreme well-wishing friend of everybody. So with that mood, I would like to end here, but I would like to just end with a small bhajan, just 2 verses of it by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and then we can end today's lecture, and we'll pause for any questions or any comments you might have. Right? So this verse is by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and so similar to what we discussed, which is the kayena manasa buddhya kevaler indriyarapi, just how we saw putting our mind, body, intelligence, everything in Krishna's use. Here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Manas deho geho jo kichu mor ai pilo tuva pade nanda kishor Manas deho geho जो किछु मोर आई पिलो तुवा पदे नंद किशोर. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Manasa Deha Goho Jo Kichu More. So whatever I have in this world, be it my mind, my body, my speech, everything, let it be surrendered and given to you, Krishna. Deho Moho Ai Pilo Tua Pade Nanda Kishore. Oh Nanda Kishore, I'm going to surrender my mind, body, speech, intelligence, everything what I have to your lotus feet. So with that mood, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying, and this is coming in the series of verses called Sharanagati. So if anybody has time, we can go read and enjoy this particular song. So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity, and any questions or any comments I'll be able to answer. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
In the last of the section, you mentioned that there are 5 ingredients. So 5 purpose. First is the Naudware, wherein the Jivatma is sitting. He doesn't have any action to do or anything perform. Then comes the Paramatma, and then the 3 modes of the nature.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Jivatma does the desire, and Paramatma grants the desire, and then the modes of the nature or the Paramatma performs that.
Yeah.
So now my question comes here, how come the desire develops? How the desire Jivatma does first thing? When desire happens, when Paramatma is already there to grant or not to grant, then how come that desire is granted, which is negative sense basically?
Yeah. So
The point again, I'm just trying to bring the whatever is happening in the Middle East point of view. Reason is that there are a lot of negative things are also there, which somehow the Paramatma has granted, then only it is taking place.
yeah. So Prabhu's question is, if Paramatma is within us, and how is this desire for Jiva coming, right? Where is the source of this desire? So the thing with Jiva and Paramatma, right? Krishna is the supreme well-wisher father, right? He says, Aham Bija Pradapita. So, and Krishna says, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu, right? He's equipoised to everybody. So, it's very interesting to think about what Krishna means by being equipoised, right? So, Krishna gives us this free will. So, free will is inherent to the Jiva. Every Jiva, everybody, all of us, we have a free will. Free will is only to choose 2 things. One is either choose Krishna or choose the material nature. If you choose Krishna, then you have taken Devi Prakriti, and Krishna takes care of us, or Devi Prakriti takes care of us. If we choose the material nature, then the Prakriti takes care of us, right? So when Prakriti takes care, that is like Durga, right? What does Durga mean? The word Dur means don't, Ga means don't go. That place is not to go, which is the prison or the fort. So that's this particular material world is considered the fortress of Durga. So we have come here because we have all chosen not to be with Krishna. So that's the inherent nature we all have. But what we are trying to do by sadhana bhakti is trying to create little bit of effort to develop this desire to serve the Lord. And because of that, gradually and with Krishna's will, Krishna sees our endeavor and Krishna grants. Right? So that's the position we are in. So free will is inherent to everybody.
But again the question comes that why has negative so many negative thought processes granted by
Krishna is not. Yeah. So Paramatma is a neutral. So this is a very good example. When somebody asks Prabhupada, right? So Prabhupada gave this example. So if you have a judge in the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court judge is actually being presented this case of a gruesome murder which has happened, and this murderer is in the court stand, right? The judge has sentenced that this person is so bad, he is supposed to be punished, right? He's going to be hanged. So now, what would you say? Is the judge partial? No, right? What is the judge doing? He is seeing and then granting based off what the local laws are, right? So that's exactly what Krishna does as Paramatma. Krishna desires that everybody comes to him, but he, as Paramatma, he only does two things, which is to see and then grant. That's it. And it's the desire of the jiva. So that's basically what makes it happen. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes. A little bit of, just to add on Prabhu's part, sometimes our acharyas have given an example. That example can be taken of a child. Sometimes the parents know that certain article in the hand of a child is dangerous for him. They know it. Now, if he is forcefully deprived of it, the mind of the child will again go towards the thing that was forcefully snatched. But if the parents basically supervises the way that he's handling and let him become tired of it and takes it after the child is tired with what he was holding, then his mind is not going to repeat again. So therefore Krishna is waiting till the time we get frustrated by the material world. Then we prominently attain him. Then to snatch away from us.
Yeah. That's why in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya it said, Vaikuntam Puguvadu Mannavar Iyalbe, which means it's everybody's birthright that we go to Vaikunta. So eventually we will go, but how many births, how many lifetimes we will go through is not in our question. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Then was thank you, Prabhu, such a wonderful class. Prabhu, in 13th verse, so the translation says, as you mentioned, that the Atma resides in the city of 9 gates, neither working nor causing work to be done.
Mm-hmm.
But in the 3rd chapter, Krishna clearly mentioned that Atma is always active and cannot be inactive even for a moment.
Yeah.
So how can Atma be active and non-working at the same time?
I think I thought about the same point as well, bro. That's why I was saying, like, this is a conundrum, right? Where Krishna says it doesn't work, but this is what happens. The work which happens is the desire there. The Atma desires to be. So as Atma, we saw about Tatasa Shakti, right? So Tatasa Shakti is like, it can either go towards Krishna or it can go towards Maya. So in the material world, the Atma desires to go towards Maya. So it is already desired. So that desire is what here we mention as, Krishna is mentioning as the karma. But it doesn't have anything, it cannot do anything in this material world. So the soul itself cannot do anything in this material world. The soul can desire, and the 3 modes of material nature make it happen, and it has to be sanctioned by this Paramatma. So when Krishna says, Nahi kashchit chanamapi jat tishtati akarmakrit, there is not even a single moment you can do without having doing karma, right? That's the verse you're quoting. So that kashchit chanamapi, the only thing which we can think about there is the soul can never be desireless. So the soul is always in a state of desire where it can choose Krishna or not choose Krishna.
Yes, sir, thank you. So in the 3rd chapter, basically when Krishna says soul is always active, that means soul is always having a desire.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
For the very nice class, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. You mentioned about Jivatma, Paramatma, and the 3 modes, Sattva, Rajo, Tamo, Gunalu, how they connect Jivatma to Paramatma through the action. So, how to desire is the keyword that I am catching here.
Mm-hmm.
So, how to foster the desire, how to deepen the desire. Are there any scriptural references?
Yes, Mataji. So the desire to serve, you're asking, how to increase the desire to serve?
Any desire that leads to Paramatma.
Yeah, exactly. So there are 9 ways which we can do it. It's called Navavida Bhakti, which is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dhasyam, Shakyam, Atmanivedanam. So you can choose any of these. Shravanam, we can hear attentively about Krishna's message. So by hearing Vidyate Hridaya Granthi, what gradually happens is you hear the message of the Lord, and that message itself is purifying. So then the heart, knots in the heart, they melt away. And the second thing is Kirtanam, where you can glorify the Supreme Lord, where you can chant the mantras of the Lord. You can chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Then that is Kirtanam. Smaranam is always engrossed in the thoughts of the Supreme Lord. And Padasevanam is worshipping the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. And then Archanam is you can do deity worship. And then Dhasyam is taking the servant attitude, doing service to Supreme Lord. Sakyam, being the friend of Supreme Lord, which Arjuna and other Gopas and Gopis in Vrindavan they did. And Atma Nivedanam is like giving everything to Supreme Lord. So you can choose any of these 9, and then Vandanam. Vandanam is offering prayers to the Supreme Lord. So there are multiple potent ways. These are all authorized ways which we can gradually develop our desire to serve the Supreme Lord. And that desire fructifies. And Krishna
Thank you,
reciprocates.
Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anything else? Okay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
A big round of applause for Prabhu. I think it is a very nice class. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very nice class. So, any newcomers today to the temple? Thought I saw some hands up first. So, thank you for coming. Are you visiting or you stay in Arizona? You stay there and you visiting? Okay, welcome. Welcome to you. And you visiting or you stay here? Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed the class and the Aarti, and hope you enjoyed the rest of the program. We have a small gift for the newcomers. So after the announcements and the kirtan, you can pick up at the counter there. Thank you for coming to the temple. And we have a lot of ways you can connect if you're staying here. We have some QR codes here that you can copy, and it'll show you how to connect with the various programs at the temple. And so we'd like to also thank today's sponsors of the feast, Harshraj, Jahala and family. Is the family here? Harshraj, Jahala family. They're sponsoring today's Sunday feast for the satsang. Is the family here? No. Please give them a big round of applause. We'll catch up with them later. And then we have Smita, Vivek and Kian Balla. Is the family here? The Balla family? No? Okay. Please give them a big round of applause. They sponsored today's feast for Annadan purposes. So anyone can sponsor the feast, whether you want to do this simply to feed brahmanas or Annadan, or birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, any excuse that or in memory of somebody, you're welcome to sponsor the Sunday feast, and you can see Upendra Prabhu at the counter there. So last week we had no Sunday feast program, and we had a picnic, and it really went well. I'd like to thank everyone who participated, and a big thank you to the youth group for arranging all the games, and Namapriya for coordinating everything. Please give them all a big round of applause. And upcoming we have on March 26th, which is a Thursday, a week from this coming Thursday, we'll be celebrating Ramanavami. That's the appearance of Lord Ram. The program is at the temple, starts at 5:30. And we're going to have Abhishekam of the deities. There'll be Arati, there'll be Kirtan, there'll be a short class, and Prasadam. So please plan to join us on Thursday, March 26th, to celebrate Lord Rama's appearance. And there's going to be a new outfit offered, so there are some sponsorships still available. If you'd like to sponsor anything as a personal gift to the deities, you're welcome to do that. And we have some slides going up with part of the announcements. So we are trying to reduce the time of the announcements so that we can spend more time with the kirtan and dance. So please make sure that you look at that. It'll be just ongoing, but like we mentioned earlier, we have the daily morning sadhana program. We have Temple Srimad Bhagavatam class. We read Chaitanya Charitamrita in the evening. The Matajis read Chaitanya Charitamrita in the afternoons. Then children also read the Krishna book at night. We have our youth who participate, who are reading Srimad Bhagavatam on Sunday evenings via Zoom at 2 o'clock. Then we have Bhakti Vriksha program that takes place on Friday evenings. Then we offer Hindi classes and Sunday school at the temple. We have pujas and catering services available. We are looking for volunteers for various services that you can come and see us or any of our devotees, mainly for prasadam serving, our gift shop, seva. We have openings also in the kitchen, especially for cleaning up the utensils after the Sunday feast program. And we just are trying to make a list of devotees who can take part. You know, if you have about 8 devotees, your turn will be once every 2 months. And it's the best service that you can do for the temple, because that really connects you to the Lord. Cleaning services are where we all normally start and get connected to the Lord. So if you'd like to do any of those services, we also have gardening seva. And if you want to help with, shopping services or giving rides to ASU students who want to come to the temple but don't have any transportation, we're also looking for help over there. And also the temple devotees, we take them to the doctors and dentists. So if anybody's available to help with that service, you can come and see us. And some of these services don't happen every day, but when we need, we can call upon you if you are available. We'll go ahead and recite the prasadam prayers, and then we'll have kirtan and dance, and then we'll have blessings. We'll be served prasadam. Just one line only for the blessings, and for the prasadam, children and elderly will go first for both lines, for blessings and the prasadam. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Solpa Punya Vadam Rajan Viswasane Vajayade Sharira Vidya Jal Jodendriya Tahe Kal Jibe Fele Bishaya Sagare Tara Madde Jivayati Lobo Maya Sudurmati Take Jita Katina Samsare Krishna Baradaya Mai Kari Bare Jiva Jai Soprasadan Nadilo Bai Sayan Namrita Bhav Chirada Krishna Gunagao Premirako Sri Chaitanya Nitai Jai Nimai Jai Nitai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhagavad Mahaprasadam ki Jai. Hare Krishna. All of us can please stand up. We'll have Kirtan for 15 minutes led by His Grace Rupunaga Prabhu.
Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Desatarine Namaste Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda Jaya Shri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, everyone, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,